I believed it to be merely a minor error, one that would end there, yet I was mistaken. That day marked the onset of what would evolve into the most intricate and taboo experiences of my existence. As I recount this tale, a tremor runs through my hands, for this moment transcends mere confession. It is a fierce reckoning with the turmoil of my own conflict, the weight of shame and the pull of desire. Alfred, my mother's partner, embodies maturity, charisma, and an unwavering confidence that captivates all around him. He possessed a quiet authority that drew people in without the need for raised voices. He often remained silent within the walls of the house, but his mere presence had the power to illuminate any space. He was my mother's second husband, and our relationship had always been distant. He maintained a courteous demeanor, yet there was an air of distance about him, until that fateful day when everything transformed. My mother, Jennifer, was out enjoying the company of her friends, as she often does. The house was bequeathed to Alfred and me. The evening was shrouded in a stillness that suggested tranquility, or so I believed it would be. I had withdrawn to my chamber to don a different attire. As I stood before the mirror, clad solely in my underwear, poised to don a dress, a subtle creak from the door caught my attention. "Emily, your door's open," Alfred murmured gently from the threshold. His voice carried a serene strength that caught me off guard. I glanced over and caught his gaze fixed on me. Time appeared to stand still. I found myself at a loss, unsure of the next step to take. I remained still, leaving myself exposed, yet I chose not to shift my position. He lingered at the threshold, his hand poised on the door as if weighing the choice between entering and retreating. His gaze held for a moment, stirring within me a tide of bewilderment and an indescribable sensation. My heart raced within my chest. In mere moments, the world around me felt as though it had transformed entirely. "I'm sorry," he said at last, his gaze drifting away, though his tone lacked true contrition. It bore a trace of uncertainty, as if he questioned whether he genuinely felt remorse for it. He retreated, yet his essence lingered in the air, palpable even after the door had clicked shut. "It's fine," I whispered, my voice trembling just a bit. Yet deep down I understood it was anything but fine. A transformation had taken place within me, and it was impossible to overlook. He departed, and I found myself solitary with my reflections, but his lingering gaze and the delicate tension in the atmosphere remained with me. That moment lingered in my thoughts, an indelible mark I couldn't erase. I believed it to be merely an error, a fleeting moment of discomfort, destined to vanish with time, yet I was mistaken. Merely a few days later, it transpired once more, and this time it escalated even further. Until that moment, it all could have been dismissed as an unfortunate blunder, a misaligned encounter, and I shared that sentiment. However, it soon became clear to me that this was just the beginning. That day marked the inception of a journey, and now I shall recount all that transpired from that moment forward. The following day, we were to partake in a wedding celebration. One of my mother's dearest friends was preparing to tie the knot for the second time. My mom was her typical vibrant and enthusiastic self, all dressed up and prepared for the occasion. Jennifer had always been a person who thrived on enjoyment. I held a deep commitment to my friends, yet my understanding of loyalty didn't extend into its more profound dimensions. Initially, I felt no excitement about attending, yet Alfred's presence at the wedding transformed the entire experience. Together we made our way to the venue. Amidst the thrumming energy of the crowd, my gaze lingered on Alfred more often than was perhaps appropriate. Perhaps he had always possessed this striking charm, this undeniable allure, and I simply failed to see it until now. Bathed in the gentle illumination of the wedding lights, he exuded an air of confidence. His suit was impeccably tailored, each step he took radiating an air of effortless charm. Still, I found myself wrestling with the thoughts swirling in my mind. I chided myself for being absurd, Emily, yet my gaze continually drifted back to him. A lively dance track began to fill the air. My mother and Alfred found themselves at the heart of the dance floor, moving gracefully to the music's pulse. Jennifer wore her familiar carefree smile, but then in the midst of her dance, she abruptly turned to me and flashed a grin. Alfred extended his hand to Emily, inviting her to dance, and she accepted. "I must head over to my friend's place for a little while." A sudden surge of energy coursed through me, and my heart began to pound fiercely. Alfred paused briefly, a smile breaking across his face as he reached out his hand to me. His eyes conveyed a sense of calm assurance, radiating confidence. "Come on, Emily," he said, his voice playful. "I would appreciate it if you could show me some techniques. Jennifer has already humiliated me on the dance floor." His relaxed charm made it impossible for me to say no. I extended my hand with uncertainty, my voice quivering as I responded, "Certainly." As we approached the dance floor, the eyes of the crowd bore down on us, sending a shiver of nerves through me. The scent of his cologne lingered, and the warmth of his touch felt undeniably genuine. This narrative is on the brink of a transformation. If this piques your interest, be sure to subscribe to my channel and enable notifications for future updates. Your support is invaluable. Be sure to show your appreciation by leaving a like and sharing your thoughts in the comments. As we twirled, Alfred's gaze remained fixed on me. "Emily, I had no idea you possessed such remarkable talent," he remarked, a warm smile gracing his face. His voice held a unique allure that resonated profoundly within me. "Sharing the dance floor with you is truly delightful." I averted my eyes, attempting to conceal the tumultuous emotions stirring within me. "I'm striving to give it my all," I confessed, yet the quiver in my voice revealed my vulnerability. Alfred's smile became more gentle. "Don't underestimate your worth," he said, his hand pressing more firmly against my waist. "This transcends mere movement. We are exchanging a profound connection. Do you not sense it?" In that instant, I understood that our bond transcended the mere act of dancing. My body swayed rhythmically to the melody, yet my heart and mind were caught in a whirlwind of chaos. The throng enveloping us, my mother by my side, the cacophony, all else dissolved into the background. Only Alfred remained, along with the hands that kept me anchored. The tumult of emotions within me was overwhelming, a fierce longing intertwined with uncertainty. As the dance unfolded, Alfred's voice emerged, soft yet resonant, cutting through the tumult of my swirling thoughts. "I wish to express my apologies for what transpired the other day," he remarked. "I intended to offer you a little warning, but Engen appreciated that it might be seen as slightly disrespectful to one's personal space." A gentle warmth enveloped me, and I sensed a blush creeping across my cheeks. My gaze fell, yet I yearned to alleviate the strain in the air. "It's all right," I replied hastily, my voice trembling just a bit. "Honestly, it's not a major concern. Such occurrences are possible." Alfred hesitated briefly, yet continued to dance, his gaze unwavering as it locked onto mine. Yet he pressed on, his tone becoming gentler. "I want to assure you that causing you discomfort was never my aim. I simply wished to capture your attention." My pulse raced. I assured him, saying that I wasn't uncomfortable. Simultaneously, I grappled with the peculiar exhilaration that was starting to swell within me. "Truly, it's perfectly all right." The atmosphere around us grew dense for an instant as we swayed together in rhythm. His hand rested on my waist, and the sincerity in his gaze awakened something profound inside me. Yet, the fervor was fleeting. As the melody gradually faded into silence, our dance came to an end. "Thank you," Alfred remarked, a soft smile gracing his lips. "Your grace on the dance floor is simply enchanting." I merely inclined my head, my heart continuing to race. "Thank you as well," I replied gently. I swiftly made my way back to my table and took a seat. Alfred paused for a heartbeat, his gaze lingering on me, before he finally shifted to another table. Yet, in that instant, those lingering glances revealed an undeniable truth. Whatever this connection was between us had not reached its conclusion. If anything, it was merely the beginning. "Prepare the stage." As Jennifer re-entered the wedding hall, she came toward us, her face illuminated by a radiant smile. "What a lovely dance," she remarked, offering her congratulations to us. "You both appeared absolutely stunning out there." Her praise only intensified my embarrassment, yet I attempted to mask it with nonchalance. "It was enjoyable," I remarked with a subtle smile. Alfred offered a subtle nod, a faint smile flickering at the corners of his mouth. Jennifer kept talking, her hands coming together in enthusiastic applause. "Can you believe it? Following the wedding, the girls and I will be celebrating with a bachelorette party, exclusively for us ladies. Alfred, you'll be taking Emily home, won't you?" Alfred offered a subtle smile. Certainly, that's not an issue at all, he responded with a nonchalant air. In that instant it struck me just how unjust Jennifer's treatment of Alfred truly was. On a night meant for companionship, she chose to walk away, leaving him in solitude. A twinge of unease lodged itself in my chest, yet I forced it aside. Jennifer appeared utterly indifferent as her enjoyment with her friends took center stage. As the final notes of the wedding faded into the evening air, Alfred and I strolled side by side toward the car. Jennifer had departed with her friends to venture to another place. As we settled into the car, Alfred turned the key, and the engine purred to life with a soft hum. The stillness enveloping us as we drove felt almost palpable. I gazed out the window, resisting the urge to fill the silence with chatter. Yet it was Alfred who ultimately shattered the stillness. Jennifer, at times her priorities shift, he remarked, his gaze steady on the path before him. Yet, I find myself astonished by the moments of thoughtlessness she exhibits. On evenings such as this, one would naturally anticipate having their partner close at hand, wouldn't they? His tone was calm and reflective, yet I could detect a subtle undercurrent of disappointment lurking beneath. His words resonated profoundly within me. The image of someone like Alfred, strong, charismatic, and composed, experiencing loneliness, stirred a deep ache within me. I composed myself and replied, though my voice trembled just a bit. Indeed, in moments such as these, it becomes essential to exercise a bit more thoughtfulness. Alfred gave a subtle nod. You're right, he replied, his eyes unwavering as they remained fixed on the road ahead. Yet, it seems that each relationship unfolds in its own unique way. In that instant, an unvoiced bond began to form between us. It was as though I could grasp and even sense his solitude. Simultaneously, I fought to keep my own feelings at bay. That fleeting exchange appeared to pull me nearer to him, the connection between us deepening subtly yet profoundly. Upon our arrival at home, Alfred swung the door open and motioned for me to enter. "Good night," he said. Yet the pause in his voice revealed an unspoken reluctance to part ways just yet. As I made my way to my room, I caught sight of Alfred lingering by the doorway. An inexplicable impulse halted my steps, compelling me to turn and confront him. "Alfred," I murmured, my voice scarcely rising above a whisper, "would you care to step inside? Perhaps we could engage in conversation for a bit." Though the longing in Alfred's eyes was unmistakable, he graciously chose to decline. In the aftermath of recent events, he appeared to be filled with uncertainty. I had welcomed him in to demonstrate that I had moved on, that it no longer held any significance. Instead, I found myself withdrawing to my room, endlessly replaying Jennifer's actions and Alfred's words in my thoughts. His loneliness was palpable, and it impacted me more than I cared to acknowledge. Perched on the brink of my bed, I endeavored to soothe my racing mind, yet the cacophony of thoughts refused to subside. What was it that kept bringing him to my mind? What was it about that day, the moment he inadvertently stepped into my room, that I couldn't help but relive over and over? Time slipped away, and the silence in the house deepened. Jennifer had yet to make her return, leaving me in the dark about Alfred's whereabouts and actions. As I grappled with my thoughts, the abrupt creak of my door swinging open caused me to freeze in place. I raised my gaze to find Alfred poised in the doorway. His gaze radiated resolve, yet his face betrayed an inner turmoil. I sprang to my feet. "Alfred," I exclaimed, my voice betraying my astonishment, "what brings you here?" He shut the door softly, yet remained rooted at the threshold, hesitating to venture deeper into the room. Instead, he lingered in place, seemingly engaged in an internal struggle. "Emily," he started, his voice soft yet heavy with feeling, "you're right. Jennifer, she treats me unjustly. Yet this evening I find myself indifferent to Jennifer's actions or inactions." He advanced a step, his eyes firmly fixed on me. "For some time now I have harbored feelings for you," he confessed, his tone unwavering yet tinged with uncertainty. "It was particularly striking after that day. I stumbled into your room unexpectedly. It lingers in my thoughts, refusing to fade away. The atmosphere felt as if it had been drained entirely from the space. Words eluded me and thoughts slipped away like shadows." Alfred pressed on, an air of resolve about him, to unburden himself completely, regardless of the repercussions. "Perhaps I will come to regret this admission," Perhaps I am on the brink of a monumental error, yet I find myself unable to contain these feelings any longer. Emily, you occupy my thoughts constantly. He halted, scanning my expression for any sign of response. It was clear he could perceive the astonishment reflected in my gaze. He advanced another step, his voice becoming gentler. Emily, you truly grasp my thoughts. Perhaps you are unaware, yet you truly perceive me. That is an achievement that has always eluded Jennifer. My heart raced with such intensity, I feared it might explode. The gravity of the moment was all-consuming. I felt the urge to reply, yet my mind was a blank canvas devoid of words. The stillness enveloping us was thick, laden with the myriad of unsaid feelings we dared not confront. Alfred finally averted his eyes, letting them drift down to the ground. He let out a heavy sigh and gulped with difficulty. "I'm sorry, Emily," he murmured, his voice soft and nearly delicate. "I regret having spoken these words. I ought to take my leave." He averted his gaze and began to stride toward the door. His steps were measured, yet it was evident that each one bore a weight. As he extended his hand toward the doorknob, I observed the subtle rise and fall of his shoulders, a deep breath escaping him. In that moment a profound change stirred within me. All my fears and confusion dissipated, giving way to a newfound boldness I never realized was within me. I simply couldn't allow him to walk away. "Alfred," I called, my voice a soft murmur yet powerful enough to resonate throughout the space. He came to a halt. Gradually he pivoted to face me, our gazes locking in an unspoken connection. Within them swirled a tempest, a fierce clash of remorse and yearning unfolding in the shadows of their souls. In that fleeting instant we remained completely still. With hands that quivered, I eased the straps of my dress down my shoulders, allowing it to cascade to the floor. The soft glow in the room highlighted the exposed skin of my shoulders, while the cool air caressed my body gently. Alfred's gaze was upon me, sharp and unyielding. His gaze was unwavering, tracking my every move, and I found myself unable to tear my eyes from his watchful presence. "I haven't forgotten either, Alfred," I said, my voice quivering, yet the resolve within me was powerful enough to eclipse it. "That day, the instant you stepped into my room, everything transformed. Since that moment I've been attempting to stifle these emotions, yet I find it impossible, for I have feelings for you as well. Perhaps I've felt this way for quite some time." As the words spilled forth, my heart raced with such intensity, I feared it might burst from my chest. Alfred fell silent for a moment, his gaze locked onto mine, as if he were attempting to unravel the meaning behind my words. Yet within those eyes I discerned the same magnetic draw, the same unmistakable bond one had been experiencing. "Tonight," I declared, inhaling deeply to steady myself, "I no longer wish to battle these emotions. I cannot say whether it is right or wrong, but this is the essence of my feelings, Alfred." He moved nearer, his fingers softly caressing my cheek. His touch was gentle yet intentional, as though he feared shattering the fragile beauty of the moment. As our gazes intertwined, it seemed as though the distance that separated us was merely a figment of imagination. Gently he bent closer, and as our lips connected, that initial kiss released a torrent of emotions and long-suppressed desires we had both been harboring for what felt like an eternity. Alfred's touch deepened, his kisses igniting with an intensity that surged with every fleeting moment. The idea of retreating, of halting, never even flickered in my thoughts. I found myself utterly immersed in the experience. With measured steps, I retreated until the familiar edge of the bed met the backs of my legs, and then I surrendered to gravity, allowing myself to collapse onto its surface. I observed as Alfred's fingers glided to the buttons of his shirt, meticulously unfastening them one at a time. Each motion was intentional, as though he sought to relish this instant, to prolong its existence. As he finally cast aside his shirt, an air of confidence and authority enveloped the room, asserting his presence in an undeniable way. He advanced another step in my direction, his eyes locked onto mine with unwavering intensity. Once he arranged his clothes meticulously at the bed's edge, he leaned in gradually, until the only thing separating us was the palpable electricity that filled the air. The atmosphere surrounding us was charged solely with fervor and longing. Time appeared to freeze, leaving just that instant just the two of us. He leaned over me, and in that moment we forged a bond where we yielded to one another entirely. It was profoundly moving. A profound warmth stirred within me, something vast and enveloping. This experience was unlike anything I had ever encountered. As I gazed at Alfred, his broad shoulders and muscular physique were unmistakable. I shut my eyes and lifted my hands skyward, pressing them resolutely against the pillow, attempting to mirror the rhythm of Alfred's form. In that instant, my body tightened with intensity. Alfred turned his gaze toward me and remarked, "You are truly special. I have always been aware of that. I have gained a clearer understanding of it now." He gasped for air. "Indeed you are, Alfred," I remarked, a comforting warmth blossoming within me. All sensations seemed to drift in a surreal haze. Once Alfred settled beside me, I nestled my head against his chest. As I rested against his solid chest, the steady cadence of his heartbeat resonated in my ears. The weight of this moment enveloped me, evoking a serene calm alongside a deep, inner conflict. My fingers softly glided over his chest, each movement a delicate dance as I summoned the courage to shatter the stillness between us. I raised my head to meet his eyes, my words compelling him to face the reality, while simultaneously exposing the inner chaos I was experiencing. Alfred offered a subtle smile, yet the profound contemplation etched across his features remained unmistakable. "No, Emily," he replied. "This was all intentional. Yet I must express my feelings to you, regardless of the challenges it may bring." I averted my eyes to his chest, my fingers gradually halting their motions. Drawing in a deep breath, I began to speak once more. "Alfred, you are truly remarkable and undeniably captivating," I murmured gently. "What unfolds next? What steps should we take next, my mother and others?" Alfred inclined his head just a fraction, drawing me nearer as his fingers wove gently through my hair. His voice exuded a serene quality, yet it was brimming with deep feeling. "I'm not quite sure, Emily. In this very moment, all that I can grasp is the undeniable sense of reality surrounding me. Your proximity to me is undeniable." His words intensified the turmoil within me, yet paradoxically his candor brought a sense of calm. I shut my eyes, immersing myself in the comforting warmth of his presence, even as the shadows of uncertainty about the future hovered above us. In that instant, our only option was to connect through our emotions. If you've journeyed this far, it's clear that my tale has resonated with you profoundly. There is an abundance of insights to unveil, and you will certainly want to be part of every moment. Make sure to tap that follow button, enable notifications, and share your thoughts on this story in the comments. I eagerly anticipate your insights.